Needless Things. Hey, Phantomaniacs, and welcome back to the Needless Things video toy review series thing. This is what's happening in the summer of 2013. I don't have time to write, so I'm doing video toy reviews for needlessthingssite.com. There it is. Today, we are going to be talking about Larfleeze, the orange lantern. And what better symbol of the toy collector than the avatar of greed and avarice that is Larfleeze? If you want to call him an avatar, I don't know. I'm not clear on that whole color emotional spectrum that Jeff Johns put out there. Not a lot of it makes a lot of sense, but it doesn't matter anymore because the New 52 stuff is horrible and I stopped reading it. But I still like Larfleeze. I enjoyed his appearance during all of Jeff Johns' work on the Lantern titles. I dug him throughout Darkest Night and Brightest Day. I particularly liked the Larfleeze Christmas special, and he was pretty cool in the Green Lantern animated series, which is unfortunately no more, thanks to the morons at this company right here. So anyway, we're going to be talking about the Larfleeze figure today. The packaging is the standard Signature Collection packaging. It's a window box. It has neat stuff all over, lots of design. My favorite part of any Matty Collector product now is the service.mattel.com right there with that little question mark. That sums up mattycollector.com more concisely than anything else. But good packaging. It's got a nice image on the back here, a little bio about Mr. Larfleeze. You can always find more detailed still photographs on needlessthingssite.com. So please click on the link that will be included down in the description for this video, and you can check out some pictures and a few more words from me on the site. Open him up, pull out his plastic tray. Like most of the Matty figures, this guy has a couple of rubber bands securing him, but that's okay because we have our trusty toenail clippers, a toy collector's best friend, to clip those pesky rubber bands and get this figure right out of the box so we can do stuff with it. I like how he's packaged in here, clutching his orange lantern. At first glance, I really dig this guy. He appears to have a couple of pretty good new parts, and the orange is very vibrant. I'm digging that. But we'll get into all the sculpt and detail in just a second here. Lingering rubber bandage. Rubber bandage. That was a poor choice of words. Anyway, alright. Let's take a look at Larfleeze himself. Who actually seems to have more new parts than I realized. As far as the articulation goes, he's got a ball-jointed head right there. Not a lot of side-to-side movement, but it does turn. It does swivel. Moves up and down. Really a decent bit. Shoulders are ball-jointed, and these appear to be new shoulders. With the core emblem on the side there. And what he's lacking is the bicep swivel, which I guess they left that out to give him that particular arm shape. He's got double jointed elbows, as you can see right there, and his wrists swivel and pivot. So that's pretty awesome, and he's got new hands at the end of those wrists, with a lantern ring right there. The ring doesn't actually have any detailing on it that I can see, but still looks pretty good. And he's got a nice clutching going on there. The other hand is in a slightly different pose, but equally clutchy. Also swivel ball joint, pretty good. All the joints seem to be moving very well so far. The shoulder joints are a little restricted by those little emblem things that are sticking out there. But still, looks really good. He's got the abdominal pivot. He's got his waist swivel. And he's got the weird swivel pivot crotch that's so hideous that all of the DC figures have. He's got a swivel at the upper thigh. He's got single jointed knees, but they seem to have a pretty decent pivot there, not too bad. And then he's got ankle pivots that barely move at all. That's something else there. But really, this is mostly the standard articulation for a DC Universe figure from Mattel. It's just odd to be missing that bicep swivel, but I've got to tell you, I'm okay with missing that if we get the extra wrist movement. That's pretty solid. I'm down with that. As far as the paint goes, his paint isn't quite working. I really like the vibrant orange. It looks good. It's eye-catching. He's going to look good up on the shelf, but when you get really close up on this guy, you can see that he has, let me turn in that way, he has several different colors of orange going on here. His wristbands, shoulders, hips, and lower legs, including his feet, are one shade of orange, and his torso, crotch, and thighs are a slightly darker shade of orange. That's kind of lame. I don't care for that at all, and it really does stand out. It's not like it's a very subtle difference. I mean, it really looks almost like a design choice to make those different colors of orange. Particularly that T-joint on the hip right there, that's rough. That's more of a variation than I care for at all. So, meh. Obviously, we have a new head sculpt here that looks really, really good. I like his crazy hair design. The face looks like Larfleeze is supposed to look. The paint job is very nice. He's got beady little orange eyes. He's got his nasty teeth, have all kinds of detail. They've got a base off-white color with a sort of yellowish orange wash in there to give him a little bit more detail, and some nice pink gums. They did a very nice job on that head. I mean, it looks fantastic. I don't know how much better that could really look, unless you just prefer a different artistic interpretation of Larfleeze, of which there were a few. But all the joints work really well. None of them are stuck by that paint. I gotta say, I don't know how I feel about the black detailing on the shoulder insignias. Shouldn't that be orange? Because that's what the chest is. So I don't know. We do have a very, very tight paint job. Other than that, everything's accurately placed. Nothing's bleeding anywhere that it shouldn't be. And the washes are nice. Like the darker oranges actually seem to have a little bit more. They've got some washes on them to bring them out a little bit. Whereas the lighter orange is a little more basic and doesn't have much there. Another issue I kind of have here is some of the lanterns have a bit of a metallic sheen and some of them don't. Larfleeze doesn't, and they had no consistency throughout the various lantern core and even within individual cores in this line. But for Larfleeze himself, taken as a figure alone, I'd be okay with the more solid non-metallic orange if it all matched up. That's really kind of an issue, and I don't care for it. Larfleeze comes with his orange lantern, and I'm thinking that his lantern looked different from the standard Green Lantern lantern, which is what this is, except that it's painted orange. And this is sort of a metallic orange, which is nice. But I think Larfleeze had a very specific looking lantern, and I don't believe this is what it looked like. I'm going to have to check into that, and I'll be sure and make a note in the comments or in the review on needlessthingssite.com. But it does look good for what it is, and I do appreciate that he can actually clutch it like he's supposed to be able to. You can stick it in his hand and have him just carry it around like he's a normal non-greedy lunatic lantern. And you can also have him clutching it in various ways. It works very well. Basically, he can interact with his accessory, and that's a very important thing for a toy to be able to do. The lantern, oddly enough, was made in China, but I guess really at this point there's no way around that. That's where the cheap labor is, and that's where they're going to keep making toys as long as we want them to be sort of affordable, because at this point I really don't know how affordable toys even are. Value-wise, this guy is not really a great value. While he does have several new parts, he was, I think they're $18 now for these guys, plus the shipping. I wouldn't have paid $18 for him in the store, and what's even more disappointing is there are places where you can find the new DC figures for $15 to $16, and some of those are 100% new sculpts. So I'm really confused as to why a character who has appeared in many comic books, multiple places in media, is stuck in this overpriced line. And the thing is, he's not supposed to be, because he was originally going to be in the final series of DC Universe Classics, and they pushed him, as they did with many other figures, into the DC Signature series. So, meh. Overall, I'm happy to have Larfleeze. I'm not satisfied with the execution, so I'm going to have to give this guy a 3 out of 5. I'm happy with him clutching his lantern. I'm probably going to hang him from the ceiling as opposed to putting him with the rest of the core, even though I do have an orange lantern Luthor that he could sit beside. But they could have done better. The color matching just doesn't work for me, and I really would have liked the metallic highlight that some of the other lanterns have. I bet you're going to be able to find this guy for a reasonable price on eBay if you decide to do so. If you're a lantern guy, you're going to have Larfleeze. If you don't really care about the lantern stuff, you can skip him.
Needless things.